Hey, what's up? We're in the next part, so please go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. I was telling you this dream that I had, and how it is that now we're in a scene where the sister and I are in a room, and the sister feels sorry for me, and she likely ends up confessing something, but there's a lot of compassion coming from the sister, right? This guy. But before, I even found myself locked in a room with this woman. I said in my spirit, I get it. I don't want to marry this guy because I saw him looking very dark and shrouded in something as soon as I landed in Botswana. And this guy never came to see me personally in his own capacity. He then was like, what? She wants to go home? Very well then, let my men, he said, let my men take her back to the airport and send her back to South Africa. And when he said that, I got scared, because for me it was like, I'm happy to go back to South Africa, but I don't want to go back to South Africa with strangers. I want you to take me back to the airport, or someone like a woman, but I don't want a whole bunch of men, because in my dream I instantly feared rape. I feared that these men of his like entourage, his bodyguards or whatever, they would rape me. I felt like they would accost me sexually. So I was freaking out that, oh my goodness, I'm about to experience a very horrible trauma leaving Botswana because a man is upset that I don't want to marry him after he spent so much money to get me to his land. And it was at that stage when I felt uncomfortable with being taken back to the airport by his entourage of bodyguards or whatever, that I asked the sister for help, or I found myself locked in a room with the sister. That's when I saw the visions of the kids, the two kids, and the sister then was the one in this dream that facilitated a conversation, like she mediated between me and this fiance guy. Hore ankise airporting himself personally, because ke tshaba di bodyguards tsa gagwe, ke tshaba di chomi tsa gagwe, his entourage of men. You know, he sent for me, this dude. I was scared of being taken to the airport in a car by strange men that I didn't know. So the sister was the one that mediated between me and her brother. And it was only once the sister mediated on my behalf that this guy finally came to see me personally. Finally, he came into the room that I was at to talk with me. All along, he was there at a distance. He sent for me. I saw him in this funny little environment. Mind you, I'm in this tiny little house, but this dude has got so much importance around him that why are you in a tiny house? Which tells me that it is not so much his physical living conditions that are that impoverished. Because my grandmother's best friend was a small little tiny establishment. It didn't have a bathroom it was like a 4-room. You know how you pee outside and it was that kind of establishment. So God was showing me the poverty, the spiritual poverty of this establishment, this whole ecosystem, this man. The Bible says that we must gather for ourselves riches in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy. This dude was spiritually bankrupt. He was spiritually poor, but the hints and tips in the dream suggest that he was materially in waking life quite wealthy, or he had strength and a lot of money. He had much, enough to send for me. He had men, that he could use to run his errands. He had people pick me up he was not the one to pick me up himself at the airport. He didn't come personally. So I suspect, and the thing, I never landed in an airport. I landed in this house, but I understood that my fiance was not the one to come personally to collect me. So I have a feeling he sent for me like an entourage, like a limo or something. And it was very impersonal. I found it impersonal that he collected me that way, that he didn't come personally. And after he, I guess, had me picked up at the airport, now that I had rejected his proposal, now that I've seen the darkness that he was in, now he was in no position to basically hold anybody accountable for hurting me, because he doesn't care anymore because I'm going back to South Africa. So therefore I could no longer trust the entourage, the convoy, the vehicles that sent me to his place. I couldn't trust them to send me back now that I had rejected him and I wanted to go back home. I didn't trust his character anymore. I didn't. And it was his sister that mediated for me with this man. And only after speaking with the sister, literally, I'm in Botswana, I don't know, at this point in dreamland, it was a couple of moments, but in waking life, I don't know, it might be days. I'm in, this environment, and I have yet to see my fiance, and he doesn't want to talk to me, see me personally. He wanted to make a grand entrance to be like, look at the man you're marrying, he's got servants all about him. Impersonal, absolute pomp, arrogance from me to Timbuktu. Couldn't even speak with the guy, alright? Storage is running out. Couldn't even speak with the guy. And until I said I don't want to be with him. I then found myself as a hostage in a room, and the sister ended up being the one to mediate. And only once the sister mediated between me and the brother did the brother then agree to personally himself in his own capacity then send me to drop me off personally at the airport. He finally decided to come in the room, and I was pleasantly surprised that he was not harsh and overbearing and angry and upset with me. And this man looked like, guys, yes, my stories are so many. Let me transfer my content over to my computer, go use the bathroom because I'm pressed to pee, and come back and give you yet another thing that was mixed in this dream to explain the character of this dude, like the things that happened. Yeah, and the details are important in order to help you navigate your way around the ultimate rapture that happened in this dream. Okay, let me go use the bathroom.